So yeah, in this session we'll be covering at a high level what logistics is, where are we fitting in the strategic structure, and then what is our roadmap, and then in the following session we will discuss more about the services which we manage, and how are they working, and what information we handle, and all those details. So maybe I will bring up a wiki and then we'll talk through it. Let me know once you're able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, Tony, we can see now.
All right. So logistics is a capability domain which is managed by Team Targaryen, as you might be already knowing by now. And majorly we enable the hardware delivery capability for the digitization stack. And we play mostly the role in the CNSP stream. And we also have some business critical APIs. So I will talk more about those APIs very soon. So let me start with some history on logistics and how we evolved and all. So as you might be knowing, in the digitization stack, we have various streams called the P2O, prospect to order, and order to activate, and U2C, and several others. So even though logistics is now considered under order to activation as a domain manager, our APIs are being used even in the order capturing flow. Start from order capturing flow, and then logistics is also playing its role in the activation flow, and then till the completion. So an order is captured through various channels, like the self-service channel, which is telstra.com, agent console, and then my Telstra, and the assurance, and also if we talk about the self-service channel as an example, how logistics or what logistics is playing in that one, I'll just show you a sample how we are using it. So I'm just opening self-service channel. So what happens is, like any e-commerce application, so when the customer is navigating through the e-commerce portal, the customer is selecting a product, and then if the product is available, then he selects the variant, and then selects the accessories or something, and then he checks out. And what happens even in that flow, the logistics is being used. That's why I mentioned logistics is even part of order capturing flow. For example, in Telstra.com, when you shop for devices, mobile devices, if I take that as an example, so there's a page where the user will see, and if you go to any particular variant, so you will see some kind of an information showing up here. It says that, yep, this device is available in back order now, and this is in stock. So this is actually the first place where logistics, one of the logistics API is being called. So this API is called the logistics structure API, which says a product is available or not. So that is the first one that is getting invoked. And then when the user is going through his journey in the order capturing flow, when he selects the product and then checks out, and then like a normal order, so we select a shipment address, right, where the product has to be shipped. So in that page as well, there is another logistics API that is being called. The API is the booking API, which is used for booking a shipment, and this shipment can be to the customer's address or a nearby Telstra store, any place. So so when customer selects a shipment address, it makes an API call to logistics with the customer information, the customer details like the contact information, the delivery location details, and all. And then finally, after a series of validations like the credit assessments and other checks, the order is submitted in the P2S order capturing space. So after that, the order flows down to the the fulfillment stack, it finally lands in EOMSys, and EOMSys is decomposing this order into multiple activities. So one of these activities is the logistics. So it is mainly divided into, I think, three types of orders. One is a logistics order, and then we have a service order and service activation phases and all. And then we have a billing order and all. So in the logistics order, that's where the next set of actions happen on the logistics area. So EOMS sends some information, additional information on top of what we already received during the order capturing flow. And then EOMS asks logistics to submit that order to downstream system. So that's where the order submission, till order submission, what happens in logistics. So, and then logistics orchestrates with the downstream system. So earlier, maybe a couple of years back, we had multiple systems or multiple partners where this logistics delivery used to get fulfilled. That means Telstra used to have a partnership with Brightstar. Brightstar was the warehousing partner which we had almost 2 years back, and Brightstar had its own ID systems, and it had integrations with Australia Post or StarTrack, which used to dispatch and deliver the order, and then Brightstar used to send us information on what happened to that order, whether it got delivered or where is it, and also, and logistics used to get that information and publish that to upstream systems like EOMSys and EOV and all. And then later, Telstra moved to the new strategic partner, which is Toll. Toll has set of um, warehouses across Australia, and but it didn't have too much of ID systems within their control, and Telstra wanted to control the supply chain that's happening. So Telstra built a series of a set of ID systems for this logistics space under a different program called MMF, Mass Market Fulfillment. It's very similar to DaVinci, and it built the new strategic inventory management systems called LOMS order management system, retail inventory management systems, and all. And we, the logistics API, so we were working with Brightstar earlier, and we moved to the new strategic solution or strategic partner, which is LOMS, and LOMS has integration with this toll warehouses. So at some point, we were orchestrating between two warehouses, Brightstar via B2B gateway, and then LOMS via LOMS exposed APIs, and logistics was talking to LOMS over the OCAPI. And then when the engagement ended almost 2 years back, then now we are actually fully integrated with LOMS, and all the transactions flow through logistics to LOMS to Australia Post. And we also get the feedback of or order status updates from LOMS, and we publish that to multiple consumers in the upstream. So that's the high level about logistics, and we'll go through that more into details in the system. But any questions till now?
So you mentioned the LOMs, right? From logistic, you are you are publishing like what type of communication you guys are doing like with the LOMs? Like okay, I place an order. Like if you say,
Mm-hmm.
typical e-commerce system, right? I place a order has been created. Then in between also we'll have this stock check and all, right? And where you'll be checking the warehouse it is available or not, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
those I can understand, like, with respect to the page wise, right? It will be like, I can say it's a sync call. Now communicating with LOMs, communicating with the LOMs, how you guys are doing, like, that part? Either you guys are using message broker in between or something, like, that's what I just want to know.
Okay. No, so with LOMS, we have interfaces established. So there is no messaging system between. But yes, message broker is there when we update EOMSs, or if you want to update it to the upstream systems within Telstra. So
Okay.
stock check basically is happening prior to the order submission, when the customer is actually going through or exploring the pages and then see whether the product is available or not. At that point, we have the stock check. And then before submission, we also do some real-time stock check, which means that we'll go to the warehouse and check and see whether stock is really there or not. Because the first check, which happens in the page, is from a cache, and then just before submission, we also check whether really there is a stock or not, and then the order flows, and then comes to logistics. And logistics has got some APIs, and mainly this booking API, which will get information like what is the customer, where is the customer located, and when he's expecting the order, what is the product in that order, what is hardware device in that, and all that we get it from multiple consumers. One is the PTO. PTO is sending the customer information, and EOMS is sending the product information, what goes in that order. And then what logistics is doing is it is creating a dispatch order. If in the case of a dispatch scenario, that means when we want to send a new product to the customer, so we create a dispatch order, and then publish or make a request to LOMS, and LOMS will validate that request and creates a shipment, and then it works with toll to dispatch that order and delivers it to the customer. And then once the order is progressing, we will get that updates back from toll or Australia Post, which says like, yes, this product is allocated, and then this is in transit. So we get that updates also back, which logistics is consuming from LOMS, and then logistics is sending that to message broker or notification dispatcher, which is litigate zoning, and that is getting published to EOMSys, and we also send that information to EOV for order visibility, and then we also send it to other systems like a DNA, and we have our events are also consumed by CSG. So yeah, but logistics publish all those using this Genesis streams. Yeah, so maybe go a little bit deeper in that. So this is actually what is happening within logistics. So I've tried to put the components at a high level. The various services which we have, and also there are some other APIs which we are using even in the prepaid flow as well. So that I will come to, but more into this area. As I mentioned, we have various consumers. I've highlighted few consumers here. Major one is P2O, and then EOMS, and then there are other systems like EOV and TET and fraud assessment, which queries our logistics related data and checks before submission and all. So it's part of the order life cycle. So as I mentioned, so P2O makes a booking during the order capturing flow using the create API within the logistics booking service. And then EOMSys amends that booking with the product information. And then finally, and also EOMSys also, once it amends, it tells logistics that, yes, this is ready for submission to downstream, and downstream is LOMS. And so once EOMSys tells that, yes, this order can be submitted to LOMS, then logistics prepares FLO request, which is forward logistics order. We create a forward logistics order with DM logistics, and this is DM logistics and LOMS. This is all part of MMF program, and these are the systems which has got integration with the toll and the inventory management systems and all. So we make a call to DM logistics, and DM logistics actually progressing that order with the toll and Australia Post, and then it keeps on sending the asynchronous status updates. So this is one flow, and in some cases, and as Saroja mentioned in the previous call, in some cases we will have to create that replacement orders. So when customer is trying to upgrade his device from one phone to new phone, or if the device is in warranty and customer is trying to raise a claim and he's looking for a replacement device. In that scenario, also we create RLO order, reverse logistics order, and that is also submitted to LOMS. That's a REST API interface. We submit that order, and then order progresses and fulfills, and we keep on getting the status updates for those orders, and we publish that to upstream. So we have another API called status updates API, which subscribes to these order statuses from DM logistics, and we send that to various subscribers over the Kinesis stream. So we have a dispatcher, EOV, DNA, OST, and Xenon. Actually, this is for the CSG. And then another flow, what we have is a test order. So for BVT testing, we have created another component, which is booking simulator, to do all this logistics related testing. So basically, in the case of a logistics, to complete an order, it takes uh, 3 to 5 business days, right? Because order has to go to the warehouse and somebody has to pack it, and then it has to go out and then deliver. So usually BVT testing, it will take a lot of time if you want to run the actual delivery. So that's why at some point we created the simulator. So this is like it will mimic the behavior of what is happening in the downstream system, but it will not do an actual hardware delivery, but it will create all this asynchronous status updates with valid serial numbers, and those will get activated in the upstream system. So it's just for mimicking, or it is just for testing, but it shows the actual logistics flow. So, and also during this order creation within logistics, there are some other downstream systems like a DCM and EOV, which is getting called to populate some information. We will go into that in detail later. Again, on the stock check part, which I mentioned earlier, there are 2 flavors in the stock check. First is like when the customer is browsing through the page, like he is browsing through the devices, like iPhone 13 or Samsung 21, S21, and also when the customer is browsing, initially the customer is presented with an information, something like this. This information is actually coming from a cache, an inventory cache that is maintained within logistics itself. So it's not a real-time data. That means it is actually that data is updated every 15 minutes, but it's and it is not real time. But once a customer has decided a product and he will go with a product, then at that point, another structure KPI, there is a second structure KPI that logistics is getting, which is a real-time structure call. So we differentiate that with some field that is coming up in the payload. So when the payload says that make a real-time call, we make a call to LOMS. Again, LOMS and has got a RIMS, Retail Inventory Management System, where it has got the inventory related information, stock levels and all, and we return that information. And this cache, basically, we have a DB, which is a DynamoDB actually. So DynamoDB is refreshed with this stock levels every 15 minutes by LOMS. So for that, there is a Kinesis stream where we receive this inventory related stock information and all. And then there's a consumer which reads the messages and keep on updating that database. And when any request comes from t.com, we look up the DB and present whether the stock is available. So that's high level on the stock check. So 2 flavors, one is cached, another real time. And both logistics booking and stock check has got the same downstream, which is LOMS, which is actually having all logistics related information, which handles the majority of the logistics part. So mainly we call all these services as MLO, Managed Logistics Order, which includes this booking, OSU, and stock check is considered a different product. So MLO is MLO interfaces with the Telstra supply chain system for the hardware-related functionalities and present a real-time data back to the consuming systems through the streams. And stock check, as I mentioned, is for checking availability and present that to t.com. And then we also have another API called order remediation, and this is mainly used in the prepaid flows, and it is for remediation. So in during some potent scenarios and all potent port out scenarios, when orders are stuck or orders fails with wrong information which was provided by the customer during the order creation. So there is some follow-up process where we will have to amend that original order with updated customer information. Updated customer information meaning maybe the customer's date of birth or the authorization date, something like that. So the prepaid orders get stuck due to that wrong information that was originally collected, that needs an amend. So for that we have a microservice created, which is DXP prepaid order remediation, and that is actually making some calls to it makes an amend API to DXP, which updates this prepaid order, and for that also we are um, making a call to EOMSys, because EOMSys has that full order detail. So we talks to EOMSys, get some information, makes an amend to progress that errored out prepaid order. And then there is also another interface in the same area for prepaid, where again in the remediation part, when order is stuck, there is some item tickets that are getting created, and then when item is resolved, um, uh, there is a consumer which actually a consumer component which listens to this item events and makes a resume call to DXP to progress the order. So we will go into details what these components are doing, but yeah, mainly there are some microservices which helps in the error management or order fallouts in the prepaid area. Yeah, so that's those are the critical ones, and as I mentioned, I mean these are majority of these APIs are business critical, because any issue in these services will stop the actual order creation. For example, the stock check is not responding, the customers will not be seeing the accurate information in the in t.com, and in some cases the customers will not be able to check out the order. So the APIs are business critical, and it also handles a lot of PII information, like the customer name, mobile number, email, and in some cases, for some orders to get delivered, the courier will ask for ID proofs, like Australian passport, driving license. So those information is also captured in logistics, and yeah, so there are a lot of PII data that is going through logistics as well, and we send that to downstreams. So in all these ways, so it is um, business critical, considered under a business critical API. Yeah, and yeah, as I mentioned, any questions before going further? And you can stop me in between as well.
So Tony, this store pickup also part of this logistic one, like
So
store
yeah,
pickup.
yes, that is available. So that was actually introduced as part of POBO release this year. Earlier, we only had delivery to customers, but recently we had this capability where um, we can order and deliver that to a Telstra store, and you can go to the store and pick up.
Oh, okay. I think that workflow will be little different from this Floms, right? When it's the status update, the customer is going to get, right, to go and pick from this date to this date, you know, or it will be a
It's
little, yeah, yeah.
it is also going through LOMS only. It's the same way. It's instead of a delivery address. So address for address, we don't send the physical address. We send that AD4 ID. Instead of that, we send a unique store code, which
Okay,
is
okay.
in the form of a
Yeah, yeah.
premise code. So that goes to LOMS, and then LOMS internally resolves that into a store address, and that address is given to Australia Post or the courier person, and yeah, that gets delivered to store.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's at the high level. And then in booking, we have this create booking, amend booking, cancel booking, and get booking. Create booking is what the P2O uses, and amend is where you can amend the existing booking or shipment that was already created by during the order capturing flow. We amend the data. So amend allows adding this product details, and in some cases, if you want to resend a failed order, you change the address and all. Then we have this like, in-flight cancellations, and then get booking is used to by EOMs during jeopardy management, and also by EOV and all for triggering some notifications. And yeah, stock check again. We have one post API where it retrieves the data or the stock details, and we present that. And again, in that one payload, in the payload there is a field called EaseExplore, which we can use for getting get the data either from cache or make a call to LOMs to get the real-time data. And then DXP, we have another we have a patch API which gets this update custom information and sends that to DXP. So these are the main interfaces. We will go through each of these one by one in the following sessions. And all the API specs, actually these are available in this wiki. I will share this homepage with everyone. The technology stack is very much similar to ADM. There is nothing new. I think it's almost common thing. So majority of the components actually are now are deployed as Lambda functions, and some of the services are deployed as ECS, for example, bookings and OISU, and DXP is deployed as ECS service. Remaining, there are a lot of functions that are deployed, which takes care of all this logistics related capability. And then but we also use Couchbase as a database, and DynamoDB also for stock check. And automation is written in Mocha. Yeah, and pretty much everything else is same, I think. Yeah, with ADM. And yeah, and these are the microservices, the bookings, OSU. We have a service called product mapping. So this actually, as I mentioned earlier, we had two warehouse partners. One is Brightstar, and now the current one is Toll. So when we used to work with the Brightstar at that point, the part numbers or the devices were uniquely defined using a Siebel part number. And in the strategic world, the products are identified using a RIMS code. So at some point, logistics was receiving orders with two different product SKU patterns. Sometimes order will come in come with a Siebel part number, and sometimes with RIMS ID. So when we send that request to downstream, we will have to send a unique code. For example, in headless, basically we used to get a Siebel part number, and that order gets translated. When we send it to LOMS, LOMS only understands RIMS code. So for Siebel part number to RIMS translation, we had a component created. And then this also has got some business rules and all, which helps with the order progression. So yeah, so basically it's for translating that part numbers. And then we have the stock check, and then we have some consumer components. These are for listening to the inventory events over Kinesis stream. Then we have a component for simulating the test orders. And then for the prepaid order management, we have some components as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much from a logistics domain at a high level. And then in another session, we'll talk about BPG. So I am not planning in this session. Any question?
So this services all mentioned like it is an ECS cluster we are deploying, right?
Yeah,
And
some of them, yeah.
we have where we are keeping means which like we will be keeping the artifact, right? In the sense the IC the or like cloud formation, or like how like that part CI/CD part how you are doing.
Um, so we create for ECS based services, very similar to the Tigray or ADM. We create that Docker images and push that to Harbor, and then we use we have the Docker version as the environment variable in the pipe in the builds. We use that and pull those images and deploy it.
Okay.
And yeah, so
The infra
And
provisioning, you'll be using service artifact or something like that, right?
yeah, correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, any other question? We have both patterns
So,
even in the case of yeah.
so Ronnie, for rest of the infrastructure and monitoring part, so it is aligned with the rest of the OTA team um, architecture, right?
Infrastructure, so we don't have we are not actually following a common infra
Okay.
pattern which Tiger team has provided. So we are ready to move to that, but we have our own cloud formation templates and scripts. It's pretty much aligning because I think the templates initially was it was common for all of us, right? Away. So template is very much similar, but the way we deploy or the bamboo specs and all are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but the ECS infra and all is it's very much similar to other audio teams.
Okay.
The final result is very pretty much similar. Yeah, the way we run our builds or deployment plans are all slightly different because we use a YAML based Bamboo specs, not a Java based, and the
Okay.
way we build the packages are also slightly different. Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering, like all these Lambda services, right? How these are integrated with systems like PagerDuty and New Relay. Uh, so, do you have any documentation for that?
For PagerDuty, so right now for PagerDuty we only have integration with item. So whenever there's an item incident raised, for that there will
Okay.
be PagerDuty created, and then we also have a custom build application which monitors the CloudWatch logs and for specific error patterns. And if there are any error patterns identified in the application, then it triggers a PagerDuty alert. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, from New Relic again, we have set up some policies, and based on the thresholds we have set, accordingly there will be alerts coming from New Relic, and that is
Yeah.
all aligning to the standard one, which was initially set up by Tiger team. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Any other
Sorry,
questions?
sorry, Tony. We have joined a little bit late.
No problem. Yep.
So, is this about the overview of the APIs that are present in the logistics?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just a overview, and in the following session, we will talk about the major interfaces which we have within logistics. Yeah.
Tony will at least maybe I think we have middle of some production deployment also. We have to start
Oh,
it.
okay.
So maybe my side I think probably I will go through it offline. Maybe if we have some question, we'll come back.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, raise me for anything.
Is it done or is it we are going to cover more today's session?
Yeah, in this session, we are only covering at a high level what services which we have and how a system looks like and what are the technologies we use and all, and where is it being used in DaVinci Flow. That's also mostly we will cover each of the services one by one in detail in the next sessions. But yeah, this is
Okay.
just an overview session only.
Okay. Thanks. And VPG we will have a separate overview, right? This is just a
Yeah,
logistic part we have. Okay.
yeah, this is logistics part. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Or Rohit, anything we should additionally discuss in this session? We have 15 more minutes. Maybe I can give an overview of VPG as well if everyone is okay.